die Verbrennung der Amerikaner.
What is up, my beautiful mates of YouTube? My name is Aussie Marcel, and in today's video I'm going to be recommending the top 5 office safe, work safe fragrances for men. But before I get into that, I will also mention my fragrance of the day, and I've got some honourable mentions for the work safe fragrances list. But before all of that, fragrance of the day is Haze by Who is Elijah. Now, as far as smoky sweet fragrances go, this is almost office safe. I would say it's close. It's about as close as a smoky scent can get to being office safe. And it's funny because on the Fragrantica page, it doesn't list smoke as one of the accords for some reason, and that's bloody silly because this is very smoky. Australian made, cruelty free, vegan. It's everything I want in a fragrance. It's not the darkest smoky fragrance around, but there's a lot of dark facets to it with that sweet amber accord, the smoke, the woods. It's just a very moreish fragrance. It smells amazing. And yeah, I highly recommend it. Get out there and buy some Australian made fragrances because the more they sell, the more they'll make. And brands like Who is Elijah are really doing wonders for the industry here in Australia. I know Goldfield and Banks are meant to be incredible as well. I bought a sample kit for them, but it never turned up. I mentioned that it was maybe like a year ago, it was ages ago. But yeah, highly recommend to check this one out if you're after a smoky fragrance. My 3 honourable mentions are as follows. Kenneth Cole, Mankind Unlimited. I reviewed this one yesterday and I wore it after I showered, after I finished work. It's fresh, it's soapy, and it's got this touch of warming amber to it. It smells amazing, and as far as fresh and soapy fragrances go, this is one of the best performing ones I've ever smelled. This is almost going to become my go-to after shower scent. I love the way this one smells, and it is easily the best Kenneth Cole fragrance I've ever smelled. Better than RSVP, better than Kenneth Cole Black, better than Kenneth Cole For Him. I love the way this one smells, and you know, if you can get it for under $40 Australian, let's say, I think it's well worth it. It is office safe as well, very versatile. You could wear this all seasons, all occasions. And as far as a fresh fragrance goes, the performance is pretty decent at about 6 to 7 hours. Next up is a hugely underrated men's fragrance. And I also believe it is one that a woman could wear very comfortably as well. And that is Calvin Klein Eternity for Men. This smells like a rainforest. It smells very green, very herbaceous. There's not a lot of fragrances on the market that smell like this one. The owner of the bar wore this out for dinner last night, and I noticed immediately, and it smelled so good. It smelled so damn good, and it just has a DNA that you never smell anywhere else. It's just so fresh, so clean, so green. Gotta smell it. If you can get this one for under $35 Australian, and you're after a green feeling, herbal sort of fragrance, definitely check this one out. It is a little on the mature side, but the performance is good for a CK scent at about 6 to 7 hours, and it's unique as well. I love this one. It's hugely underrated, criminally underrated, and definitely safe for the workplace as well. And the last of the honourable mentions is... Oh yeah, do you like my cowboy hat? Cowboy straw hat from San Antonio, Texas. I adore this thing. I've only just started wearing it. I love it. But yeah, Versace Pour Homme. It's about as versatile as a fragrance gets. It's aromatic, citrusy. It's got a tiny bit of sweetness. And more importantly, it's got the note of rose. It's quite a floral masculine fragrance. And for that reason, it sits on this ground where it smells both masculine, but because of that rose note, I could see the right kind of woman, the right kind of person, they, them, doesn't matter, pulling this off very comfortably. Performance is solid at about 6 to 7 hours as well. It's about as good as it gets, and I used to work with this guy named Jack, and he was this lovely kid, and he'd never really owned a fragrance before. and he wanted me to recommend him a fragrance, to walk around town with him, get him a fragrance. And so the fragrance I settled on was Versace Pour Homme, because I can't imagine anybody actually disliking the way this one smells. It just smells so incredible. It performs well, it's affordable. You can get like 100 ml of this for like $60 Australian. Definitely check this one out if you haven't already. It's well worth the price of admission. So, fragrances that I wouldn't recommend to wear to the workplace. Anything with oud. You don't want to go to the workplace rocking up like, you know, a Middle Eastern spice market. I mean, I would love that, but you don't work with me, so you're not going to have me there to appreciate your niche, spicy oud fragrance. But the note of oud is just so strong, and it can be presented so medicinally and so fecally that it's probably not ideal to wear at the workplace. Another note that's generally not very appropriate for the workplace is leather, but there is an exception here, and that is Leather Skies by All Saints. This one gets me so many compliments, and it's a leather scent. It's a fresh leather scent, and I think that's pretty rare. $125 Australian, but it's worth every cent. It's fresh, it's animalic, but in a non-offensive sort of way. It's dark, it's edgy. It's just a fantastic unisex fragrance. Highly recommend it. But it's not the most affordable scent. However, if you've got $125 to blow on a scent, I would make it that one, eh? Okay, so let's get into the list. I've had to record this video again because I forgot to turn the mic on the first time around. Don't you love that? So the first fragrance I'm going to recommend is the most office-safe fragrance of all time, Prada Luna Rossa. Clean, fresh, aromatic, floral, with a potent lavender note. I've already sprayed it on this. Performs very solidly for a fresh scent. If you love the note of lavender, if you love your florals, this is going to be a great scent for you. And I would recommend this for an ultra strict workplace that has like a strict, non-offensive odor policy. There are some office spaces like that. This is about as safe as a fragrance gets. It's a little on the mature side, and to a lot of younger men, I reckon this would smell quite boring. But if you wear it a few times, the compliments that you're going to get for this thing, it's going to make you fall in love with it, but for a different reason than you would typically fall in love with a fragrance. It's not overly sweet. It's a gentle, soft fragrance. For somebody over the age of 30, highly recommend this one. Performs about 7-ish hours on my skin. Wear it on your clothes though, it will last a little longer. Highly recommend it, it's very versatile. Next up is a fragrance that I didn't like at first, but I've fallen in love with. Dior Homme Intense. Yes, it is on the pricey side at over $200 Australian, but what you get for that money is a fragrance that is going to get you so many compliments, it's ridiculous. It's probably the most challenging fragrance on this list that you could wear at the workplace, and if you're in an ultra strict setting, maybe you wouldn't get away with this. The iris note, to some people, can be a little hard to digest. I always get compliments when I'm wearing this one, without a doubt, but there is one woman I work with in particular that doesn't dislike the way this one smells, but there's something in it she doesn't particularly vibe with. I suspect it's that iris note, and I can't stop smelling it. When my father gave me this, I originally was like, this is an overrated scent. I was so excited to try it because it was just hyped up so much on YouTube and on the internet. And I'd left it out near the kitchen, and every time I'd go to work and I was in a rush, I would chuck this on and I would just go to work and get so many compliments. And eventually I was just like, hang on a second, this is actually a fantastic fragrance. Why was I so harsh on it originally? It's probably the contrarian in me that didn't want to agree with everybody else. It's one of the best fragrances on the market. It is pricey, it is expensive, it's almost niche sort of territory regarding the pricing, but if you can afford to lash out, absolutely check out Dior Homme Intense. 12-hour plus performance, one of the best compliment getters on the market, and it's going to go down in history as one of the best designer releases of all time. It's incredible. Next up is the cheapest fragrance on the list, and this is for all the people out there that don't like spending a lot of money on fragrances. David Beckham Infinite Aqua. Now, these new line of David Beckham Eau de Parfums are actually unisex. They're designed for both men and women. This one is very fresh, very aquatic. It's got some citrus notes as well. $20 Australian gets you this fragrance. And on the back, a scent like holidays by the coast, sea breeze, lemon trees, and a breath of fresh air. Infinite Aqua is easily the most versatile of the new David Beckham fragrances. I highly recommend it. It smells quite nice at that $20 price point. It smells similar to Versace Eau Fraiche. It shares a few similarities to Versace Pour Homme, and at $20, it's accessible to almost everybody. So if you don't want to spend a lot of money on fragrances, but want something super versatile, wearable, and it'll get you compliments, check out Infinite Aqua. Next up is Gucci Guilty Intense. If you don't like the Gucci Guilty line, this may not change your opinion. However, what I like about Gucci Guilty Intense is that it brings a more pronounced patchouli note to the Gucci Guilty line. And it just gives it a slight rough around the edges feel that a lot of people out there, I reckon, would think that the Gucci Guilty line is a little boring, a little safe. But this with the added patchouli roughs it up a little, gives it a little bit of a darkness, gives it a little bit of an edge, and it makes it one of the better entries in the Gucci Guilty line. Obviously, it's no Gucci Guilty Absolute with that decaying leather note, that almost medicinal quality, but it's still a fantastic fragrance. It performs for about 9 hours plus on my skin. Rumors are that it is discontinued, so I wouldn't be paying any more than like $100 for a bottle of this. But if you adore the Gucci Guilty line, if you want something that's going to get you monstrous compliments, that's going to be beloved by everyone around you, check out Gucci Guilty Intense. It's not your typical Gucci Guilty fragrance. And last but not least is Hugo Boss Man. Now the notes are actually on the back of this. The original fresh aromatic fragrance to create your individual style. Top notes of green apple, heart notes of aromatic notes, base notes of fir balsam. This is what I would identify as the man's man fragrance. It's your typical masculine smelling cologne. You've got that sweet, fresh apple note up top, and then you've got some woods in the base. It's a very Moorish fragrance. It's one of those fragrances that you wear and you immediately go, I get this. I understand this scent. It smells very masculine. It smells great. Is it revolutionary? No, not really. It's just a men's fragrance, but it does it in such a versatile, professional sort of way. It is like, I liken it to wearing like a nice navy blue suit with a crisp white dress shirt. You could easily wear this in that sort of environment. If you're in an office space, you want to smell fantastic, but you don't want to smell like, let's just say, you don't want to smell soft like Prada Luna Rosa. You're going to want to go with something like Hugo Boss Man. Or even, if you can find it, Hugo Boss Man Extreme, which is just like a more powerful version of this. That it's not exactly office safe if you're spraying 5-6 sprays of anything really, except Prada Luna Rosa. So yeah, highly recommend this one. You can find bottles of this for like $40 at Chemist Warehouse. Highly recommend this one. Everything I've listed today is office safe in the right environment. Obviously, if you're a tradie or something like that, you can probably get away with wearing anything. But if you're exclusively in an indoor setting where you don't want to offend people, these are solid options. If you've ever worn them before, let me know in the comments below. And I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. And until the next video, my name is Aussie Marcel, and I'll catch you guys around.